Joe? Be happy to take questions, any and all, fire away. No questions? Okay, we'll go on.
You've got a lot of good forwards this year. I'm wondering what the challenge will be to try to get Tyler Robertson from playing Tyler, and what do you think about him as a player?
Well, I don't really have any, we really don't have any plan as of right now in terms of playing time. That works itself out usually. We'll see how things progress, but it's important to have depth, and we have good depth at the forward center positions. I think that's a good thing.
What about him? What do you like about him?
Well, I think Tyler is, it's really relatively early, and seeing what he does, he's really excellent quickness and gets to the basket extremely well. He's a really good rebounder defensively and offensively, and I think he's obviously a pretty highly recruited player, so he's got some really good skills.
Jim, normally third practice would be tomorrow. This year you've been able to start early. How has that helped or impacted the team as developments to this
Well, we're way ahead of where we would be. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, that we're going to get further than where we would want to get. It just means that for right now, which really doesn't mean anything because we're not playing right now, we're better prepared than we would be to play a game right now, but we're not playing a game right now. So I think the key is to use what we've done, what we've been able to do with these early practices, and to keep building on those as we go forward, so that we don't plateau, we don't stay here. We're obviously way ahead of where we would normally be at this stage, because of the summer and because of the extra practices that we've had. Normally we'd be just starting practice, so I think we're going to have an extra 15 practices during the September-October period than we normally would, and we have the 10 from summer, 6 practices, 4 games. So there's a big edge up there, and obviously right now we're way ahead of where we would be at this stage, and we just have to keep building on it, keep working on extend the benefits out that we have.
With the extra practices and the games in Canada, have you started to figure out the roles for some of the newer players yet?
Well, I think that usually works out. That usually works its way out. Everybody's got a skill set, and I think that the offensive end of the court, generally, in particular with so many practices, that works itself out. Defensively, we're again way ahead of where we would be. We've been able to do a lot of stuff with the young players, getting them familiar with the defense, and also to play more than one position in the defense, which takes some time to do. So I think that's been a real positive of the early practices. But roles work themselves out as we go along. What guys do well, that's what we'll try to take advantage of.
Coach, having so many first-year guys, how important is it to have CJ and Boeheim and that senior leadership?
Well, I think the great thing that we've been able to do over the years is to have senior leadership. We had 2 seniors last year. We had seniors, we've had seniors. We've been able to bring guys along, and to have those seniors, I think, is important. They played in the tournament. They played in the big games for their whole careers, and I think that's something that the younger players can look to what those guys have done. I think that's crucial. We have a good mix of veteran guys and young players.
With the new rules over what's going to be called a foul and what's not, this program is being very physical. Is that something you're adjusting?
I don't think so. We're not out on the court that much. We're not that physical out on the court. We're physical in the lane, but I don't think that'll change that much. So I don't think the new rules will have much of an effect on our defense. offensive movement for everybody.
CJ decides to come back for his senior year. He led you in scoring and rebounding last year, but is he going to have any kind of different role or a different impact for this year?
You know, I mean, CJ finds a way to get his points. He knows how to play the game, and he plays off other players very well. You know, he's improved every year that he's been here. You know, he'll get more opportunities this year, I think, than he has in the past. Offensively, you know, last year he was the second or third option most of the time, and this year he'll be the first option.
Hey, Coach, behind Tyler, how much improved is Mike in terms of his ball handling and ability to play?
You know, I think Mike has had a really good red shirt. I think he had a really good red shirt year. I think he, you know, he really worked hard. I think we pushed him. Coaches pushed him. I think he really improved in that year. I think the summer was good for him. He played on a trip, and then he played with us. You know, he's had a lot of work. He's played both the 1 and the 2 in practice. He plays a little bit more the 1 in practice because it's a more difficult position. But he's comfortable with the 2 or the 3. But I think he's improved as a player. I think he really used his year well. I think in most cases, guys who we've redshirted have really benefited from it, and it's really helped their game. And I think it's helped Mike. I think he's had really good practices so far.
Coach, how do you think that the addition of different teams in non-conference play helps this team really prepare for the ACC and what I think might be some tougher competition?
Well, I think, first of all, we're going from a really, really tough league to a really, really tough league, so there's no difference for us as far as the league play. Non-conference games always, you know, you use that part of your schedule to get ready for conference play. That's basically what the non-conference games do. We've got really good tests in the non-conference part of our schedule, and I think those are all the kind of games that will help you get ready. So when you go into conference play, you will have been tested. You know, we'll be tested in that part of our play. We'll see a lot of different kinds of teams, different styles, and that's the same way it'll be in the league. Whether it was the Big East or the ACC, there's always teams with different styles, and you have to learn to adjust to them.
With James gone, how much more important is Trevor to be a three-point threat?
Well, I think Trevor's really come along. I think he showed some really good signs last year. I think he's much more consistent this year. Every day in practice, you see a difference. He's a much more consistent player. I think he's really he's a hard worker. I think he, you know, with some players it takes a year or two to really get ready. And I think Trevor's used his couple of years, his 2 years, extremely well. I think he's really ready, confident, and I think he'll have a great year this year.
At this point, where are the 3 veteran centers at?
You know, I think, you know, the one thing I'll say overall for our team, I think everybody has improved. I think everybody has done their work in the off